Hello and good morning. Welcome to the new video. In this video, I will be talking about NAT Gateway, and in the subsequent video, I will show you how you can deploy and create the S3 endpoint or any endpoint service. So in this topic, I will use S3 endpoint. So to start with NAT Gateway basically creates a bridge between the public and a private subnet. It allows your resources to connect to public subnet without exposing or connect to public internet without exposing your resources in the private subnet to internet. NAT is now a gateway service. It's scalable, highly redundant, and you can have multiple resources in the NAT gateway in the private subnet that needs to connect to internet. So for example, you have database servers in the backend. Those database servers may need to upgrade themselves, or the software must be patched. To do this, we create a route for them or a resource for them which is going to connect them to internet and they can patch up. Now, how this works is, the simple thing is that you must have your NAT gateway in private route table, and the NAT gateway should be created only in public subnet, because public subnet has route to internet, but the entry for the route has to be in the private subnet. To do this, let's start and let me explain you how it works. So I'll go to EC2. I'm in my Sydney region. I'm going to create two EC2 instances. One I will create in public subnet and one I'll create in private subnet. So I'm going to launch the instance, and this is the name of my, I will call it as AWS EC2 public, and I'll just use AWS one. I'm going to use free tier. Select the key pair, which is this. I'm going to put it in the custom VPC. It's in public subnet. I'm going to assign a public IP address. I'll select the existing security group. I'll use default one with all the ports open, and I'm going to launch the instance. So it's done. Next thing is that what I'll do is that I'm going to create another instance over here, and I will name it as AWS EC2 private, and I'm going to launch same, select the same key pair, and again I'll put it in the same VPC, which is my custom VPC, and this time I'll put the resource in private subnet, and I do not require a public IP address, and I'm going to select the same security group and I'm going to launch it. So it is done. So now we have two resources. They are coming up. One of them is in public subnet, which is here. You can see it has a public IP address, which is over here, and a private IP address. And the second resource that we have here has no public IP address, that means no internet connectivity, but has got a private IP address for internal communication. So I'm going to go, I'll duplicate another tab, and I'm going to launch the VPC. So I'll go to VPC over here. And if you have a look at my VPC, which is here, and if you select my custom VPC, so this is how my resource map looks. So I have got three subnets from private subnet. Only the public subnet has got route to internet, and the private subnet does not have any route. So to launch the NAT gateway, so it's here, and this is the gateway service. You click on Elastic IP. First, I need a static IP address. So this is the IP address that I'm going to use, and I'm going to create a tag which is name, and the name is I will just name it as Elastic IP for NAT, and I'm going to create a Elastic IP address. So I have an Elastic IP address. This is static, and it will be with me forever. Elastic IP address, you don't get charged if you use it, but you get charged if you don't use it, because you cannot hold a IPv4 address and block it. And AWS gives it from their own pool of IP addresses for you to use it. So I'll go to NAT Gateway now. I'm going to create a NAT Gateway. I'll just call it as NAT Sydney. NAT is always in public subnet. It is always in public subnet. You can put it in any public subnet. And the elastic IP address that I created, that's it. It's done. So key takeaway is NAT is in public subnet. Whenever you create NAT, it has to be in public subnet because NAT wants to connect to internet and public subnet has got root table to internet. That's why. So now I will go here on root table, and these are my private root tables. I need to give a root to my NAT for my resources that are in private root table. So click here, click on roots, edit roots. I'm going to add a root, and I say if anybody comes from internet, so anybody is coming from internet, send it to NAT. So NAT Gateway will not expose your resource. Click save. So now we have the entry. Then we go to another root table, the second one, which is the private one. Click here because we don't know. This applies to any private root table in this subnet. Add root. Anybody coming from internet, send it to NAT. Select NAT and save changes. All done. Let's go to EC2. Now I'll click here. I'm going to launch this EC2. If you want, you can also use your terminal window. If you don't want to use this, it's totally up to you. You can use it from your terminal window as well. So I'll say here SSH EC2-user @public IP -I, and the name of the file was keysydney.pem. Enter. Yes, connected. And I'm connected to this machine. And you see that this is the IP address, the private IP address. This is connected to internet because this is the public IP address machine. And if I say ping www.google.com-count of 3, and you can see it can ping. So that means it is working. Now let's go here and look for the resource that is there in the private subnet. So here it is. Click on this. We'll just refresh this page. Click on this and we will, let me click here. Let me scroll a bit up. And this is the private IP address. And now I'm going to connect to this machine. SSH EC2-user @private IP address, and I need the key file. Okay, I think I don't remember I taught you how to use the key file. So here it is. I need the key file here. If I do ls-l, there are no files here. So I need the key file here. I need to copy it. So I'll use the command sudo, nano is the editor, and the name of the key file was sid-key.pem. You have to type exactly the same name. If you click here and if you click here, somewhere you will see that the name of the key file is key-sid.pem. So make sure you give exactly the same name, -sid.pem. Now where is the key? Now key is in your desktop. So go and open editor. So in my case, I'm a Mac user. I'll open brackets, which is somewhere here. Okay. Or you can use any editor. And I already must be having this file. So yeah, this is keysid.pem. I copy it and I go here and I paste it. And I say paste. And this is the key file. So make sure, do not make any changes to the file. Copy and paste as it is. Do not delete any space. Do not add any space, because then it will damage your key file. Press Ctrl X to save. Press Y and enter. Clear the screen And now if you do ls-l, the key file is there, but you don't need the permissions because key file is private. Nobody can have read permissions except the owner. So type here sudo chmod 0400 keysid.pem changed, and if you do ls-l, this is the one. So now let's go and connect to this machine. So we'll copy this private IP address. Now we have the key file sudo ssh ec2-user @ public IP address -i keysydney.pem, and you connect to it, and I'm connected. So now I'm in my second machine. But what are we learning? That resources that are in the private subnet, which does not have public connectivity, can still access internet. How to check? Again, ping www.google.com -count of 3 and oh sorry, there's a typo error. google.com -count of 3, and it is talking. So that means there is an internet connectivity between the machine. It's working. Why? That is because NAT gateway is there. So let's go to the VPC and let's edit the root and let's remove NAT gateway. Root table, go to roots, select another root table, click on roots, click on edit roots, delete this, save changes. So none of the root table now has the, oh sorry, we'll delete this also, remove, forgot to save the changes, and it is gone. And now let's clear the screen, or let's try to run this command. See, it will not connect because there is no root entry that takes it to internet. So that is why we have NAT gateway. So the objective of NAT gateway, and it is 100% packet loss. The objective of NAT gateway is to ensure that your resources are connected to public internet without having a public connectivity, and NAT gateway ensures it securely. Thanks for watching, and if you have any questions, feel free to reach.